And as day 2 of the RNC zeroes in on immigration, News Nation is making it our mission to show you what is really happening at the border. Because according to a recent News Nation Decision Desk HQ poll, some 25% of Americans say the border crisis is the biggest problem in the U.S. today. But what about the people who live or work at the border every day? We wanted to find out how they feel. And correspondent Ali Bradley is live for us near the border in Del Rio, Texas. And Ali, you have some reactions.
Yeah, hey, Nichole. So people that live down here, work down here, they're warning the American people not to listen to the numbers that are being published because there's a lot of nuances with those statistics that are coming out. Now, of course, former President Donald Trump touted the most secure border in the history of the country and criticized President Biden's handling of the southern border. So we wanted to look at what those pivotal policies between the two administrations really looked like. So under former President Trump, we saw him invoke Title 42. That was a COVID-era policy that allowed for the swift removal of illegal immigrants in the country. Now, President Biden was kind of forced to defend keeping Title 42 when it was time to have that expire, as we saw volumes of people that were kind of uncontrollable. Trump, meanwhile, implemented Remain in Mexico policy, which forced migrants to wait in Mexico while their cases were adjudicated. Biden, meanwhile, suspended Remain in Mexico. Trump deported illegal adult immigrants and separated families, but also conducted mandatory DNA testing. Biden reversed practice. He reunited families and ended mandatory DNA testing. Trump made efforts to decrease migrants on parole being allowed into the country, while the Biden administration has relied heavily on humanitarian parole of migrants. And speaking of parole, here it is by the numbers. You can see here the use of what is supposed to be for specific cases only has all but skyrocketed under the current administration.
So I took executive action last month. As a consequence, working with Mexico, border encounters have gone down over 50%. The current level is lower today than when Trump left office.
Okay, so those comments by President Biden post-debate don't exactly match up with the numbers we're getting from our sources. Since the executive action went into effect, we're seeing an average of 3,978 migrants per day. When Trump left office, we were seeing an average of 2,329 migrant crossings each day over the same number of days. Now, what's more is that the encounters with people from special interest countries have spiked nearly 1,000% from 123 back in 2020 in 1 week to 1,205 right now.
We will close up our border, and we want people to come in, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in legally. And on day one, we will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country.
Okay, and it is not just the sheer volume of people that America is concerned about, and that has changed over the years. The movement of deadly fentanyl has also increased substantially over the years. Seizures, though, of the deadly drug has dropped 30% when compared to the same time last year. Now, behind me, of course, you can see several layers of wall here. Each administration kind of has their own wall, Nichole. We know that under the Trump administration, more than 450 miles of wall was built. That was one of the first actions that the Biden administration took, was to halt wall construction. We know that administration is using funding that would have expired down in Starr County to build some of this wall that was first put up by Trump. Nichole.
You know, and Ali, before we let you go, what are the agents saying about the differences in the administrations?
So what's really interesting here is I asked agents, you know, we've seen the ebbs and flows of immigration. Over 40 years, we've had issues. But what is something that has been a problem that hasn't seen much change? The vetting process. That has been problematic for decades. So Art Del Cueto, he is the vice president of the Border Patrol Union, but he's also an agent who was an agent under Trump and currently under Biden as well. He breaks down that system a little bit for us.
The numbers were lower, so it also gave agents and, you know, different individuals within immigration more time to ask the proper questions of individuals when they first were apprehended. So you were able to do more investigative work. Now it's become more of a cookie cutter, you know, positioning where they come across, cut and paste narrative and send them on their way.
Okay, so Nichole, important to note too here. When I first started, I said, don't listen to the numbers. And this is why. These numbers that we're hearing about right now, these low numbers for this administration, they don't include the gotaways. They also don't include the CBP-1 encounters, which are about 1,500 a day. And they don't include the 30,000 people a month who are being paroled in, literally flying over the border under the president's CHNV parole program. Nichole.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.